full glam makeup routine today. I'm gonna show you guys also some makeup hacks and just some tips that I feel like work for me, and different techniques that I feel like could make your makeup come out more flawless or look more seamless. But first, let's take a shot. Don't mind me, I have concealer on my face already, but we're gonna go ahead and take a shot. Pouring myself up. Oh, and I'm drinking the Hennessy White. This is not sold in the US. So yeah. Also, drink responsibly if you're going to be drinking while watching this. I do not condone underage drinking, by the way. So I am toasting to a new month of opportunities, new connections, and just more good news in general. I'm also going to toast to my exam that I passed and me graduating in 2 months. So cheers. Can we just talk about how there's so many different variations of makeup now? Like, there's clean girl makeup, there's latte makeup, there's strawberry makeup with all the blush and stuff. And I'm just like, can we just hold on? Because I just learned how to highlight and contour like last year. I'm just kidding, but seriously, that's how it feels, because every time I get a handle on my makeup routine, it just seems like it's something else. Like, can we just relax, please? Okay, so when I apply my concealer, the reason why I came on camera with the concealer already on my face is because when you put concealer on, you want to make sure that you're letting it set for a little while, like letting it dry so that it's not too wet, because if it's too wet, it's gonna smear when you try to like dab it in your face. So you want to make sure that it's a little bit dry so that when you dab it on your face, it kind of like blends in better. Yeah, so you just want to blend it. I prefer to blend with a brush, just because I feel like it makes it look better than a beauty blender. I feel like beauty blenders usually like smear my makeup. But if that's what you use, to each his own. I'm just letting y'all know what I feel like works better in terms of making sure that your makeup is like blending the way it needs to blend. My Fenty Beauty contour stick. I forgot what shade this is, but I think it's the darkest shade that they have. When I find it, I'll put it in the description box so you guys can know which shade it was. And you want to apply it like on your jawline. I sometimes go above my jawline just so that it blends better with my concealer. So yeah, that's what I would advise, is for a more seamless blend, to do it on your cheekbones so that it kind of blends to the concealer, and so that it doesn't look too bright. So you want to dab. Remember, dab. Every time you do your makeup, just remember, dab. You don't want to swipe. You don't want to brush, you know, this way or nothing. You want to always dab. And be very light-handed. You don't want to, like, you know, push in too hard. So yeah, just be very light-handed. If you want, you can also do circular motions. I used to do that when I first, you know, started highlighting and contour, but now I just dab. Slow and steady wins the race. So just, okay, so now for my nose contour, I'm gonna use this kind of brush. You want to use like a skinny brush that will allow you to really like get in and define that contour. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna make a line right here to kind of define my nose a little more, and then you're gonna blend it in later. So right now I'm just doing the creams. So I did the cream concealer, the cream contour, and after you've blended it a little bit, then you'll set. Okay, so now that I've blended to my desire, I'm gonna go ahead and start using my setting powder. The setting powder that I like to use is the Laura Mercier in the shade Translucent Medium Deep. So, of course, use the shade that works for you. I am of a darker skin tone, and this is what works for me. So then I'm just gonna dab it in. Like I mentioned, you want to always make sure you're dabbing. And with my setting powder, a little goes a long way. I don't like to put too much setting powder because then you'll probably get like this ashy effect or get flashback. So I just put enough just to set it, but not to the point where it's ashy. And I just apply it everywhere that I put concealer. I'm not the type of girl that likes to put too much makeup on, so I'm very minimal when it comes to makeup. If you're someone that likes a bunch of makeup, then I understand that, but if you're going for like a seamless, minimalistic makeup routine, I would suggest that you just kind of only use a little product. So make sure to get that nose as well. Okay, so now that I'm done applying the setting powder, now I'm going to apply bronzer to the areas that I contoured. And I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty, I think it's called the Warmth Instant Bronzer or something like that. And this is in the shade, oh, it's the Stalk'r Bronzer. And this is in the shade, I don't know, it's not on here. Or this is it, Thick Mint in this shade. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna be using. So you're just gonna apply it where you contoured, again with the dabbing motions. And this will just help it to blend as well. You can already see the difference that it's making. It's a lot darker and not too bright. But you don't want to put it over the areas you highlighted, like not too much over them, because then it'll take away from the highlight that you've done. You just want to do it to where it blends the edges. Okay, when it comes to when it comes to bronzer, I will say that I do OD on it a little bit sometimes, because I just feel like bronzer really just brings out my cheekbones. So I like that effect. So sometimes I'm a little bit more heavy-handed on the bronzer than I am with other products. So that's what I'm saying, like when it comes to makeup, it really depends on you. So you will decide what products you want to use more of and what products you want to use less of depending on your preference. So now I'm going to use the same brush that I used to contour to take off the excess setting powder. And I'm using the same brush I used to contour so that when I take off the excess setting powder, it's also blending with the rest of my face. Because again, you don't want to get that flashback. You want to make sure that everything is blended. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that same brush everywhere to just set my face. Don't forget the forehead. Okay. All right, and so after I've contoured, like set my contour, I like to go in with an extra setting powder to set like my inner eye nose area. And I use the Airbrush Loose Face Setting Powder to do this. And this is just to make sure that you're defining it a little bit more, giving it that definition. So I only use a little bit in the inner eye because you don't want to get that flashback. So this is what I do. That's all I do, just a little bit, just to perfect my nose contour. So once I put that loose face powder, I just let it set for a few minutes, just so that it takes in all the, So after a few minutes, I use that same brush that I use for my contour to brush off the excess again. So when it comes to makeup, you're doing a lot of repetition. So that's why it's important to like establish a routine. So when you get that routine down, every time you do your makeup, it's no problems. Okay, so we are almost done. So I like to set my face multiple times throughout the routine. I set my face when I did my eyebrows off camera. I'm gonna set my face again after I've used the setting powders on my face. And I'm using the Stay All Night Micro Fine Setting Mist. And yes, use a lot of setting spray, okay? Don't be stingy with it. So just let it dry off. While it's drying off, I like to also go in and pat to make sure that I'm also blending while it's setting so that I don't get any flashback. This will also help to make sure that everything blends well together. I'm telling you, this is a game changer right here. Dab while you set. I feel like that's made a difference already. Yeah. So once it's dried, now I'm gonna go in with blush. I'm using the NYX Wonder Stick. It has 2 different shades, but I'm too dark for the other one, so I'm not using that one. I'll be using this darker shade red. I feel like I didn't used to use blush before because I thought blush wasn't for black girls. I feel like we all thought that at one point. Don't lie, I know you thought that. I felt like blush was only for like lighter skinned women and like white people. But I didn't even realize that it really just depends on the type of blush that you get, like the shade. So I'm using a darker red. And you're gonna use that same brush to just dab it in. You see how it's blending in already? And I put it directly on my cheekbones just to give it some color. Yeah, look at the difference already. Of course, depending on your face and the structure of your face, you're going to want to put it either lower than your cheekbone or higher. It really just depends. I like to put it a little bit high up on my face to blend into that concealer. All right, so I think we're good on that. That's the only place I put blush. I know people put blush on like their nose and other areas of their face. For me, blush can be very overpowering if you put too much, and I don't want it to take away from like the other definition of my face. So I just put it on my cheekbones. And maybe if I'm gonna smoke out the bottom of my eyes to give a more darker look, and I'm gonna be using my Juvia's palette. I'm gonna be using my Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette. This is the Saharan. I'm gonna use this black right here. I'm gonna use a smaller brush to make sure that I'm not getting it all over my. So because I'm using black, I'm only gonna use a little bit because black can look very bold. And I don't want it to look too dark. Just enough to where it gives me that smoky effect. Because I'm still gonna put on mascara, so I don't want it to be too dark. You can already tell the difference it's making. All right, so once I do that, I'm going to use some mascara to bring out my lashes, and I'm gonna be using the Estee Lauder Turbo Lash Mascara to define my bottom lashes. And when I tell y'all, this is a game changer right here. So of course you gotta do like a few layers to really get some length and volume. I'm gonna also apply that to my top lash before I put my lashes on. Look at that definition, y'all. Like, I also like these lashes because it makes it look like I have lash extensions because it has that volume. But if you're not someone that likes glam lashes, then this is not the lashes for you. But I do. So I like to go in and cut my lashes a little bit because I have almond shaped eyes and I don't like it to look too fake. So I go in and cut a little bit of my lashes just to fit my eye a little bit better. And I'm gonna put it like on the middle from like right here to the end of my eyes. So for my lips, I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Superstar Vinyl Lipstick as lip liner. The lip liners just don't do it for me because I have darker lips. So this just helps me to define my lips a little bit more. And I do overline a little bit, not too much because I have big lips already. But if you're someone that has small lips, then I would suggest overlining a little bit more. So after I use my lip liner, I'm gonna go in with this Sephora Lip Plumping Gloss. And I love this because it kind of makes your lips look a little bit more full. And so I just put this on. And this is in the shade Nude, by the way. Yeah, Nude. Lastly, I go in with my NYX Butter Gloss, or is it NYX? I don't know. NYX Butter Gloss in shade Cinnamon Roll. And that just kind of gives it like a more brown nude look to it. So yeah, this is my fave nude lip combo right now. Now that I'm done with my face, I'm gonna go and set again for the last time. And yeah, guys, this is the final look. This is my full glam routine. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, and just interact with me. Make sure y'all comment below what y'all are toasting to. And I hope to see y'all on my next vlog. Bye.